Hey everyone, hope everybody's doing good. Just wanted to give an update on basically for both channels at the moment. Uh, I know it's been a month or so since I got a video up here, and things have been really busy, mostly with work, and we're putting in a lot of overtime. Anyway, I'm out here on the other lot that we inherited back in the first of the year. And as you can see, the mobile home that was there is now gone. And this thing was 6 foot off the ground on this end because the way this land slopes may be kind of hard to tell, but it's about, I don't know, 4 foot difference between that side and the other side over here. So they finally got the house off of it. It took them 5 months. I thought I was going to have to take legal action, but they finally got it moved. So me and my wife have been spending a little bit of the time that we could getting this lot cleaned out and getting all the junk off of it. And there's still a bunch of stuff way back out in the back that we got to address and get rid of. But a couple of things here I got to, you see there's, I think, 28 pads. These things are 2 foot by 2 foot by 12 inches. I had to get all those up, get them out of the way. And then I'm gonna have, I don't know, about 2 loads of dirt brought in here so I can get all this stuff leveled off and get some grass planted out here. So, still a lot of work to do. We spent hours out here cleaning up stuff. This whole end down here under this house was full of bed frames and just everything you could think of down here. And we had to, you know, get all that stuff up and haul it off. Try to get all the junk off of it, still some blocks and stuff. You can see all the insulation still in the ground. And one of the things I had to do was get the old Massey Harris pony running right so I could get out here and get the dirt and drag it and get it all looking good. Still got a lot of roots around the edges, got to be cut up and poured up. I think after I get these concrete pads up, I'm going to take a disc and just disc this whole property up and get it halfway usable. I'll probably rent a bobcat, you know, skid steer, and come up here and move the dirt, because I've also got to address this driveway. As you can see, from the bottom of the driveway to the top of the lawn, about 18 inches. And what's happened, all the dirt's washed out of the driveway here, so got to get that filled back up. And I think a little bobcat with a blade on the front, a bucket on the front, would be best thing to do for that. Got a service pole up here. I'm not planning on putting no house back on this piece of property, so I'm thinking about getting this service pole taken down. But you'll have to have the utilities to come out and disconnect the other end, so there's no live voltage coming here to this panel box, so I can get that removed. A couple of pads to be gone, some old satellite dish post got to be, you know, took up. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, not much time off to get things done, but you know, we're working on it. It's, again, work has been really crazy, lots and lots of overtimes. Can't go into a lot of details about it, but the company had a big order and we had to get that stuff done, and sometime in June we're supposed to be finished with it, so then the overtime will back off a little bit. So my goal was to tear this tractor down, start the restoration project, and video all of it. Well, I come to find out this Canon camera that I'm using does not like dust, so it caused all kinds of problems with the camera, and I had to take it apart and clean it. And that'll lead on to something else that I've picked up that I'll show you in a minute. But I had filmed the first clip of taking this thing apart and finding out what was wrong with it. When you mash the clutch pedal, it sounded like it was going to come completely apart. So I'm thinking throwout bearing was bad, but as you'll see in this clip that I'll show from a couple months ago, it was not the throwout bearing that was the problem. It was actually someone had left a part out when they replaced the last clutch and pressure plate. But I'll run that clip in just a minute and you'll see that. But anyway, this is where the tractor's at the moment. Now, as you can see, there's nothing been done to the back half of it. It's still just like it was when I bought it, other than the 3-point hitch that's been added to it. But from the transmission forward, everything is completely redone and painted, all but the front end. I still got to go through the front end, but you can see it's looking real good. And honestly, guys, it's not a lot of work. It looks like it is, but it's not. This tractor comes apart in 4 pieces. You got the back half, the center section that goes to here. You can take the engine out of this tractor just by removing 4 bolts here, 2 on each side, and then there's 2 motor mount brackets down here. Take the radiator off and disconnect the wiring and the linkages, and you pull this motor out of this tractor without breaking it in half. So this tractor's got a subframe underneath of it that makes it real easy. The grill and the hood has still got to be sanded down, stripped, and straightened out and get right. You can see the radiator's been gone through. Start a generator, I didn't go through it. Well, not start a generator, but a generator. I did not go through it. I just cleaned it up, put it back on, and I'm going to switch this over to a Chevrolet alternator just as soon as I can pick one up. Look, the steering shaft, and right on up. Did go through the starter, had that rebuilt because they had to have a little bit of problems with it last year. So that's where we are on the tractor at the moment. And guys, it just haven't been any time to get much done. I've been coming out here for about 30 minutes to an hour some afternoons and working on it a little bit. Like I said, what you see done ain't but a few hours in it. The main part was getting this problem fixed that was in the clutch and pressure plate. But I'll roll that clip just after this. So you notice when I was out in the yard, I was not using the Canon camera. I was actually using something a little different. And a guy at work, which is a friend of mine and a fellow YouTuber, had a GoPro. This is the Hero 5. And it didn't have the back window cut out in the case. I put this on the milling machine and did that myself. But the only thing that was wrong with it was there is a crack in the outer glass. That doesn't affect anything. Probably wouldn't want to submerge it in water. And the battery would not hold up. So I went on Amazon and ordered 2 batteries, and little USB plug-in charger. That won't but I don't know, 20 bucks for it. And I ordered a 50-piece accessory kit for the GoPro. And I have got to order a new charging cable. So I went into Walmart and they had them. So I picked one up, and as I was looking around in there in Walmart, it was kind of interesting when I saw this. Now, the Hero 5 goes for a little over 300 bucks. I give $70 for this. Like I said, I did have to get a battery for it and a new charger cable, but that's not bad. Fully working camera, works real good. But when I was in Walmart and was looking around, I saw this one, and this is the Hero 7 Black from GoPro. And you know, it basically comes with just what you see here and a charging cable and one battery. And as you can see, this one is already cut out from the factory in the back. Now the Hero 7s, where I understand, was going for about $400 some. Depends on where you got it from. Some as low as back then was 3 something. But they had this one marked down on clearance for 130 bucks. And I happened to see it was pushed way back in the back of the cabinet. The cabinet was down low on the floor. And I could see it sitting back there and see it said Hero 7. So for 130 bucks, I picked up another camera, which I had to get an SD card for it. So these are what I'll mostly be using now out here in the shop. Now, I just couldn't pass up that deal on this Hero 7. I say brand new, 130 bucks. So I'm hoping that with these two cameras, I'll be a little bit more versatile. I know the audio quality of these cameras is not like this Canon that I'm using, and they recommend putting external mics on it, so I'm gonna look at different external mics. Now I watch other videos with people using external mics, and some of those wireless ones are very high maintenance. I don't like a lot of noise, no more than what you have to, so I'll probably look at maybe some wired mics, and maybe look at some wireless ones too. But the good thing about these, I better use these on the bench also for putting in picture for like looking at test equipment and stuff, so that I think these will be a lot easier to use for that. The mounts on them, there's all kinds of mounts, and that'll make it easy to set up on the bench with little small tripods or arm mounts and so forth. That'll be easy to point at like a scope or spectrum analyzer or something, so you can get a good view of it. Hi guys, out here in the shop today. If you can see, we got the old 1947 Massey Harris pony sitting in the shop here. Now this thing has been needing some work done to it, and I just haven't been able to get to it. And here it is, already springtime, and now the tractor's needed. So I've got to go ahead and do something about it. Now, as you can see, I've already got the hood taken off of it, and I decided to go ahead and just film some of this project for y'all to see. Now, the throwout bearing that engages the clutch when you mash the clutch pedal is very noisy. When the tractor's running and moving, it's fine, but as soon as you put your foot on that clutch pedal and push it, it sounds like the world's coming to an end. That bearing is shot. And another thing is that I got the smallest 12-volt battery I could find when I got this tractor and put in it, but I had to set it sideways, which means it hung off each side of the ledge, more to the left side than it does the right side, because of those control linkages and oil line that runs through there. And I wanted to figure out why it was like that. I know pictures online I looked at, the battery setting in line with the tractor, and in this one I could only set it sideways. And the reason for that is that somebody has replaced the steering box unit, and they made all these brackets that came around, so there was no room for the battery to fit like it is now. So I had to go in there and modify the brackets that they made to get the battery set in the right way. And you know, that's something I'm going to be looking for, is an original steering box to put back in there. Now I've got this cover here taken off too, because we take the tractor apart, probably going to start doing some painting on it also. But that's fixed. Again, the release bearing's making a noise, and I noticed the other day when I was using the tractor, there was some kind of noise coming from the front of it. Well, you can see here this pulley for the fan, and the fan blade itself sits on a bearing mount right down in here. And that bearing is shot in that also, so that's where that other noise is coming from. So most of the time in the tractor, you're going to start messing with the clutch, you've got to break it in half. Luckily, the Massey Harris Pony, you do not. We got to pull the front grille and the radiator, disconnect the linkages, you know, throttle, choke, and the wire harness. Then we'll come here to the bolt here, to the bolt there, and there's one on the other side just like it. I'm sorry about the handheld camera work, but you know, we're in the garage, this is how it is. There's two bolts here, and then there's two motor mounts, and we need to unbolt them from the chassis. Now this part is connected to the bell housing and runs all the way around the front. So you pull this engine like you do a car. You do not have to break this tractor in half, which makes it nice because you still got a rolling chassis instead of two parts of a tractor. So I need to go ahead and pull out these bolts all the way around this front grille, and then I'll drain the radiator coolant, and we can get the radiator off. Okay, radiator's off. Got all the linkages and the wire harness removed, fuel line, oil pressure line, everything is disconnected. Got all the motor mount bolts out, motor to bell housing bolts out, and if this works right, we should be able to push this motor forward. Yep, there we go. Now I should be able to slide it on forward and move it right on out. Alright, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, as you see, the motor is out. Well guys, this isn't looking good. The first thing I noticed was the condition of those clutch forks. You can see right there how chewed off they are. And if you could look inside that bore right there, there's hardly any teeth left on the inside of the clutch. And there's the input shaft coming out of the transmission. And you can see all these teeth right here and gone, and also this. The whole inside of that bearing is wore out, but these teeth are just about gone. So that input shaft is going to have to be found and replaced. So it looks like the only thing that wasn't wore out is the pressure plate. I can feel no ridge there whatsoever. So I think just doing a light resurfacing on this will be just fine. So what caused this catastrophic failure? Well, I'm going to tell you. Whoever replaced the clutch disc in the last go around, now you got to remember this tractor is from 1947. So it's been around a long time. But when you replace a clutch and pressure plate, inside here is a pilot bearing. And what that pilot bearing does is holds that shaft from moving. That is about all that's left of the original pilot bearing that went in this hole up here. So every time you engage the tractor in gear and let off the clutch, that pilot shaft just moves everywhere, and that's what was causing all that rattling. As soon as you the throwout bearing pressed the clutch forks, that allowed that shaft to move around, and it's messed up the inside of the crankshaft. So I probably might have to bore that out and put an oversized bearing in it. I'll probably just take a piece of bronze and make a bearing to go back in there, because I doubt you'll find one that'll fit it perfectly. I don't know if I can do this without pulling the crankshaft out or not. That's really what needs to be done. But yeah, that's caused the whole problem. And the inside of that bore does have a wear mark in it. So yep, that's a problem too. Well guys, it's actually been a couple of weeks since the previous clip you just saw. I had to get parts ordered, and been working quite a bit on this tractor, and a lot of the stuff I wanted to film the whole process, but it's just too messy and dirty to get the camera out and sanding and sandblasting and painting and whatnot. But got a lineup tool, new clutch disc, it's a brand new pressure plate, new release bearing, throwout bearing, whatever you want to call it, and the pilot bushing. Now, made comments earlier about the hole in the back of the crankshaft that accepts the pilot bushing. Thought maybe it might have been wore. This fits perfectly inside of it. No problems at all. So it looks like the crankshaft was a lot harder than the input shaft that was going in it. So got to do nothing to the back of the crankshaft. What I can do though is go ahead and put the new throwout bearing on the retainer. Anyway, so since my input shaft, and you can see how long it is, 39.5 I believe, almost 40 inches. You can see the wire here, and that's where it was riding on the sleeve for the throwout bearing on the inside. And you can see, you know, the teeth are wore down here and there, which don't matter back there, and the end of it where the pilot bearing sits is wore down. Well, my analogy of this is that this is not a hardened shaft. Apparently it's probably just a mild steel or something. You know, through the whole tractor you got to have a weak link, and I think this was the weak link. And again, the reason why this failed was because whoever put that last clutch and pressure plate in bothered not to check the pilot bearing. So as long as the clutch was engaged, it held this thing pretty straight, made no noise. As soon as you mashed the clutch, and then the centrifugal force of the flywheel and the clutch pedal naturally made this thing wobble, and that's the results of it. So I go online, I go to eBay, and I find one, and it was $100. So I ordered it, and Monday afternoon at about 6:30 I heard the UPS truck pull away, and I went on the porch, and this cardboard tube is laying on the porch. You can see the shape that that end's in, and you see this end is taped up, folded and taped. Well, this end is exactly how it came. It was folded, but it was never taped, and all I got was a empty cardboard tube. And I went out to the road, and the UPS driver, he went down and turned around to another house, and he come back. There was only one entrance into this place, and I stopped him. I said, "Hey, didn't you notice that this had nothing in it?" He said, "No, I didn't look at that." I said, "Okay, I need you to go in your system and note that you delivered an empty package." And he did. So I went in, I contacted the seller. 4 days later, haven't heard nothing, so I contacted him again. But that same day that this came in and I found out there was nothing in it, you know, I need to get this tractor together. I can't be waiting for him to do something. And it looks like he had torn down a Massey Harris tractor and was selling the parts. And he had over 3,000 transactions and 100% positive feedback. So I'm just taking it that he is tied up, out of town or something, you know, and just hasn't replied back. So I'm going to give him through the weekend. If I don't hear nothing about it, I guess I'll turn it on there over to PayPal. So anyway, that same day that this came in, I contacted, well, I went online and looked, and I happened to find one right here in North Carolina that was about 90 miles away. So I ordered it, and 2 days later, I got the replacement shaft. And as you can see, good teeth on it. I even polished the end of it. looks good. And I got this one from these people, birchstoretractors.com, and it was $100, $16 to ship it. So I got $250 in this shaft so far, and I'm hoping that the other guy will get back up with me. Like I say, I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's out of town or something. And if he doesn't, then I'll have to make that move when the time comes. But anyway, now I can go ahead and get this shaft installed and start putting the half of the tractors back together. I'm not going to paint the rear half just yet. I'm going to wait till I get the tractor mobile, because I need to be able to unblock it and move it around so I can work on the back half of it. So guys, anyway, we seem to be on the downside at work, so things are going to start slowing down here through rest of this month and June, and then hopefully we can get back into normal operations. I am working on videos on Patreon for troubleshooting test equipment use and stuff over on Patreon. I got some videos already done, just got to get them edited up and put up. Got a few retakes I need to do on some of it, and we'll be getting a whole lot of different tutorials out on Patreon. And we got a big backlog of stuff in here that we're working on, and we'll be getting back on that stuff real soon. Just takes time, guys. You know, when you work a public job, you never know what you're gonna run into, and that's why I'm looking forward to retirement. Don't want to hurry up, speed my life away though, but yeah, work can be very time consuming. Anyway, we'll see how things go over the next couple of weeks. Again, hopefully with the GoPros we can get a whole lot more stuff going out here in the shop for the second channel. I think we're close to 100 members on this second channel, but you know, don't really have a lot of videos up there, just a few. But we'll be getting more and more videos up there, because there's been some stuff here that's coming to the garage that I'll be doing some talking and reviews and stuff on, and a lot of projects and lathe projects out here in the garage. And as soon as we can get a chance to get them done, we will. Anyway, guys, stay tuned. Leave your comments down below. Hit that like button if you don't mind. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.